Guys, welcome back to the channel. So I just want to share with you a trade that I caught yesterday on pound yen. I just want to share some analysis and my theory and my thinking behind the move. So what I was looking at is this area on the hourly time frame. Okay, that we rejected off on the pound yen. So we've had quite a strong bull run up to this level, and then we seem to consolidate at this level, put in some lower lows, and then started to shoot back relatively quickly up to these highs. I'm sure, as a lot of you are obviously aware from my previous videos on liquidity, there was obvious signs of liquidity being generated at these levels, right? These double tops forming a level of structure, and obviously we then got this trend line that formed that then got ran. Okay, so as we drop down to the 5 minute and we're approaching the London session, we've got structure that's being respected through here, and we've also got an area of liquidity just above that. So what I'm looking at now is for these equal highs to get run and potentially show some rejection at this zone, or if we push up higher, run this liquidity and then looking for a push to the downside. Alright, so as we moved into the London session, we can see that the liquidity got ran. We rejected off of this zone, which got me interested. If I just delete this box here, which got me interested in this area here, okay, where we ran the liquidity, respected this zone, and then saw a sharp push off from this level. So this is now an area which I'm looking to enter the market, right? If I get either a run of this liquidity or some sort of entry signal at this institutional candle, some sort of mitigation of this zone, right? This is our point of interest, right? Our equal highs that were generated through here that got ran, we saw a push off from this level. We've seen a sign of weakness to the downside, so I'm looking for a push up into this zone and then looking for a rejection of this level, or potentially getting stopped out of that and then a rejection of that higher level to then look for shorts to the downside. So where would we be targeting if we're looking for selling opportunities, right? So if we zoom back out to the hourly time frame. Alright, so we've had this strong push up on the pound yen, right? There's a couple of things that is happening here. So we're forming an ascending type of movement, an ascending channel, right? And typically these break to the downside, respect the bottom of this zone, right? We've also got RSI divergence, slight divergence on that channel, which is a good sign, okay? But what is the theory behind these moves? So obviously there is a trend line that's being built under here, right? And what typically happens is traders will trade this in a way where when price comes down to this level, okay, they'll see this as a level of resistance to then take long opportunities at this level. Okay, and also you'll get breakout traders that are looking for a break of this level to take this short, right? So you've got a lot of liquidity that is resting around this level, right? And if we was to drop down, there's also an untested order block down on the 15-minute time frame. Oh, maybe it's clearer on the 5. So if we drop down to the 5, there's an untested order block down on that 5 minute, right? I mean, there may have been some mitigation at this level here, which we saw that push off from. But ultimately, I'll be expecting a reaction once we get down, back down to this level as well. Alright, so if you look down on the 5 minute time frame, you can actually see that we had equal lows being generated down here, right? Equal lows being generated down there, which then got ran. Okay, and then we pushed up. We did actually get some mitigation from this level, or return back to this level, and then saw the strong push, strong rally above. But ultimately, I'll be expecting a push down right into this zone. Okay, especially as that is just on that trend line, so we know that there is liquidity down there as well, right? So I'll be expecting that to be tested, to at least be ran, come back up, tested, and then a reaction off of that level. Okay, so something like this. Okay, so a move that pushes down, runs liquidity, right? So that is the area that I'm targeting, right? Okay, so if we go back up to our area of interest, we now know where we're looking to target and how we're looking to get involved. So now all we got to do is just wait for our entry signal, right? Again, expecting to potentially be stopped out at this level and then looking to re-enter at a higher level. Creating more liquidity, right? More trend lines being formed. Again, equal highs above this level that have just been stopped. Alright, so as we enter this zone, you may have already, depending on what you look for to enter, be entered in at this level, right? So a test of that order block with stops a few pips above the high, looking for your targets down at the higher time frame area of interest, right? Which would already give you a great risk reward, looking at a 13R trade. However, I was more interested in looking for some sort of manipulation after the break of this trend line and then a short. Okay, so so something like this, right? Obviously, those of you who are familiar with Wyckoff, you'll know that on a lower time frame we get a move like this, a push down that runs this liquidity, a move higher which then runs the liquidity that's above this area. Okay, generally we get higher highs on price action and lower highs, if I just bring on my RSI, lower highs on the RSI. So I was looking for a move like this, some manipulation, a break higher, some divergence on the RSI, and then looking to enter on that rejection, right? So if I just clear these drawing tools, see that push higher, so the market bouncing around that manipulation, we get a break of them lows, okay, signaling a sign of weakness, right? Obviously we've had this push higher again as well, so we've got a trend line above there which then just got liquidated. Okay, so now what I'm looking for is a manipulation of this higher level and then a short, right, and ideally some divergence on the RSI to combat that. So we then get our push higher, we get a rejection of that level, we get divergence on the RSI, right? So we get higher highs on price action, lower highs on the RSI, and then looking to enter on that rejection, stops a few pips above this high, because now that we've got this set up, technically we shouldn't see a push higher. If we do, that's just more manipulation. That I'm looking at as the manipulation to then look to enter this short, right? Alright, so as the price advances and we get this area of reaccumulation, right, and we then break below it, if you miss this entry, you can then obviously look at this order block to then enter a short position, right, whether or not you get filled, or alternatively, you know, you've got an order block through there as well. So it is actually quite a powerful level to look to get involved. So you've got an order block there, which we've seen some mitigation off. We've also got another order block there, which needs mitigating. So the likelihood of, you know, this liquidity being ran right into these order blocks and then seeing a rollover is pretty high if you miss this opportunity, that if you miss the entry from this manipulation here. Alright, so as you can see, we come up, run this liquidity, get a pull back into that structure zone, push up higher, again get an RSI divergence at this order block. If we look at the RSI, right, we're getting higher highs on price action, lower highs on the RSI, again creating another channel and a trend line which we violate, right? So again, another entry exactly the same as we're seeing here and on the higher time frame, and I'll show you on the hourly time frame how you could have got involved if you aren't looking at this in the London Open, right? How you could have got involved exactly the same way on the hourly, just because of how the markets move, right? They're fractal, okay? So the same type of moves happen on the 1 minute, on the 5 minute, 15, hourly, weekly, right? It's just knowing what you're looking for, how to identify it, looking at, you know, areas of liquidity that you want to see ran, areas that you want respected, why them areas are being ran, okay, and where you're looking to look for targets, right? This way of trading is a lot more involved and does take a lot more time in the markets, and You know, but it doesn't have to be this complicated. You can get a simple system and a simple strategy that incorporates these, the theory behind these moves, get profitable, and then obviously once you're profitable, looking to evolve as a trader, right? You wouldn't, you know, it's sort of like that whole walk before you can run type deal. So anyway, we'll watch this play out. All right, so as we start selling off, okay, you can see that we get quite a strong push down past this level. Obviously this was respected quite a lot. There's obviously quite a lot of liquidity below this level. We then get a push lower, right, quite a sharp push below this level towards our trend line, which we expect to get liquidated. Okay, people looking for higher prices, so we would expect them to get stopped out, right, down into our area of value potentially, and then looking for a move higher, right? Potentially even looking for long opportunities at this level, depending on how price reacts, right? And the type of price action we get if we get something similar, okay? Perfect, right? We come down, hit the trend line, push up, people get liquidated, right? Creating more lows. We then push down into our area of value, which we then push up from. May have been stopped out of this if you decided to take an opportunity, take a long opportunity at that level. We then push down, liquidate them lows, right? And now looking at this area for some sort of long opportunity, right? Now that we've liquidated these equal lows, okay? So again, if we just bring on our RSI, you can see that we're getting lower lows, sorry, on price action, higher lows on the RSI, right? Indicating that we're likely to see some sort of bullish rotation. Now, obviously, we want to see some sort of manipulation of this level, which we may have already seen there, right? Looking for higher prices, okay? Okay, so obviously you can see this push down, right? Running the liquidity and potentially seeing a sign of strength, a pullback into this sign of strength and looking for that spring higher, right? So obviously we see that sign of strength, right? Breaking above these highs, okay? Potentially a pullback. Whether or not we get that, so it doesn't actually look like we're going to get a pullback into that zone. So depending on your entry style, you may have actually missed that entry. Okay, if it was me, I would have been stopped out there, retaken another entry down there, looking for a move higher, right, targeting this liquidity. Okay. And potentially looking for a retest of this order block here, right? This order block through here that we then saw, which we saw run the liquidity above these equal highs. Okay? Understanding that that is likely going to get tested and we may see some sort of reaction from that level, right? So again, consolidating, right, generating some more liquidity to then get run. We then run that liquidity, see a run of that liquidity into that order block, right? A brief relief off of that order block. I'd like to see a stronger reaction off of that. Obviously you can see liquidity being generated, a run of that liquidity into this order block, right? Obviously then banks mitigating out of their positions, right? Obviously we know they don't just sell out straight away, right? They distribute out of their positions, potentially some accumulating either some more long orders, right? Either an area of reaccumulation or distribution, looking to take liquidity above that level and then looking for lower prices, right? Most likely taking liquidity that's been generated under these lows. So again, a spike at that level, right? The liquidity grab, the sharp move down, right? So again, taking the liquidity from both sides and lightly seeing some sort of relief off this level. And as you can see through the Asia session, right, not too much happens. And then London session, again this morning, a very, very similar situation to what happened yesterday, and again what we was looking at our point of interest. Okay, so maybe you might have looked at a long opportunity, but I wasn't actually looking at this, right? but not a bad move to look to get involved in, right? And then obviously we then see them higher prices from that level. So I hope you enjoyed the analysis. Obviously trading doesn't have to be this complicated. You sort of want to ideally build into this way of trading, right? Start off simple, start off with the basics, and then as you evolve as a trader, obviously this is the type of things ideally you want to be looking at, where you're looking for targets, why you're looking for entries at certain places, right? How do the markets move, why do they move, okay, and slowly sort of growing your trading into these concepts. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you got value from it. If you did, remember to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button for similar content and testing strategies. I've been asked to test a couple of strategies, some simple ways of trading that I find are profitable. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be putting out concepts that are a little bit more in depth for advanced people and people that are just getting in, finding strategies that incorporate this way of trading with some simplified versions and testing them, letting you sort of see them, judge for yourself, go through, test, get used to how the markets move, why they move, pick up some observations right through them strategies, and then develop your trading that way. So again, I hope you got value from the video. If you did, drop us a like and a sub, and wherever you are on your trading journey, I hope you have a good week, and I'll see you on the next one.